before I forget. And go ahead and drop in the chat section where you're from right now, like where you're tuning in from. I will look at it when I'm done talking because I have a squirrely brain, and if I like see someone, then I'm just like I just like lose all train of thought and I can't think. So drop any questions as you have them, and we will make sure to cover it all. We're just a really interactive team, so talk, and we want to make sure that you leave here tonight informed and learn the things that you want to learn to make a decision if this is a path for you or not. So my name is Brooke Anderson, and I am the founding coach of our team, Heart and Hustle. Been a coach now for 4 years, which is crazy to say. And this is how the flow of the night is going to work. I'm going to talk a little bit about my story and then what we do as coaches. Caitlin is going to jump in with her story, and then social media, how she went from using social media like zero to like now showing up every day and impacting a lot of lives just by sharing her journey. And then Jens is gonna pop on. She's a brand new coach as of like a month or two ago, and just share like her experience so far. And then I'm gonna kind of wrap us up with a few more business things and how to get started from there. So it's gonna be a fun night. And at the very, very end, we're gonna do it right on here. If you stick with us, do it. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna raffle off two $20 Amazon gift cards. So don't get off early if you don't have to, but if you have to, we understand. You can watch the recording. I have it recorded. So jumping back into a little bit of my story, I am a former elementary teacher, and I love teaching little kids. Like I don't want you to think like I didn't like my job. I was obsessed. Like I've always just been obsessed with little kids and helping them. And I've always been someone who's happiest when I'm helping others succeed. I know like if you're a nurse or a teacher, just like in that kind of profession, like it's just fun when you see people better because of something maybe you did, or something because you guided them in a certain way, they are succeeding. And I love that about teaching. I love that about little kids. I fell in love with teaching fifth grade specifically. I always thought I'd be like first in kindergarten and the little ones, but I loved the fifth graders. However, and about 4 years or 5 years ago now, I became pregnant with my daughter, and all of a sudden my heart had a huge shift. And I think that's really important to note, that it can be something really, really good that you're doing or in. And if your heart shifts, that's okay. I think sometimes we think, well, this is what I've worked for my whole entire life. I can't all of a sudden just like change directions. But God does that. We know that like our paths are going to be like back and forth and winding, and doors close and doors open. So if you're in that path tonight, if you kind of are feeling those pulls tonight, I just encourage you to be open to whether it's this or whether it's something else you're wanting to go down. But like, it's okay when you have that heart change. And I did. There was nothing wrong with teaching. I just knew all of a sudden I didn't want to be a teacher anymore. I wanted to be at home raising my own baby, not leaving every day to go raise someone else's baby, but at home raising my own baby, hopefully babies in the future. However, I knew I needed to be at home. I needed to be financially stable. I'm going to talk about the income part more at the end of this call, because I was a coach who was very financially driven, because I wanted to be home, but I also wanted to be a financially stable to be home, because it's hard to go down to one income in this day and age. And, you can do it. It's totally doable, but you have to make a lot of sacrifices. So on the flip side of that, my own health journey, right, we're health and fitness coaches, was a mess going into this. And I think that's such a common misconception, that everyone's like, well, you've always just been little, you've always just been skinny, you've always just been blah, da, 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 but I was a mess for the past decade, literally the past 10 years of my life, of all through college, all through early years of marriage, all through my first pregnancy. I had a really messed up view of health and fitness. I was on what you call the yo-yo dieting health and fitness train, whatever that's called. I don't know if that's a thing, but it was a thing for me, where every few months I would try and stay with my health journey and work out really hard. Usually I would view workouts as a punishment for like what I did over the weekend or what I ate, or had to counter, if I ate this, then I had to work out this much. And I just could never find something that when life got hard, which life gets hard when you're going through college and you get engaged, and then you get married, and then you have babies, like a lot of wrenches get thrown in there where I could stick with it. When life got hard, I would lose all motivation. I would binge eat. I would turn to food as comfort, and I would gain, 10 to 20 pounds in a matter of months. And as a 5'2" girl, and I'm sure if you're 6'1" or even taller than that, but as a shorter girl, it's just very obvious when those things happen, right? And like for me, would happen pretty quickly. Especially because the times when I was on my health journey, that basically meant I was limiting all my carbs and I was really depleting my body of good things that now I know, like, oh, I do need those things. I just need them in moderation. So as you can see, like I was kind of a mess, and I knew heading into motherhood that I needed to get this in check, or else I was not going to be the kind of mom I wanted to be. I was not going to be energized to keep up with my kids. I was not going to be confident. I was not going to set the example that I wanted for them to live a healthy lifestyle. Because even if I hid it, we moms can be pretty good at hiding things too. Our kids pick up on the littlest stuff, I have learned, just so you know. So if you're in that spot where you're like, well, my kids don't know that like I eat a bunch of junk right when they go to bed, or I save all these cookies for me. Like our kids know that. Like we knew that about our parents, what they did when we went to bed. So I knew that if I really wanted to set the example for my own kids, like I had to get my own act together. Okay. So this is where coaching entered my life. I had been watching my coach for the past year, and these are the two things that I remember about her. First of all, I never liked a photo ever. Like I did, I was just that creeper who just watched her. There were no stories back in those days. This is back in 2016. So she had no idea like I was following her, because I never liked anything, but I watched her show up every day. And she was so positive around health and fitness. She just had an outlook, and she shared the real stuff. She was pregnant with me at the same time. She had her third, I had my first. She shared like the hardships of pregnancy, but she would put a positive spin on it. She shared the hardships of postpartum and giving birth and all that stuff that I had never seen someone like talk about before and share. But then she also, once she hit 6 weeks postpartum, she had a plan. She knew what she was going to do. She had three kids, and she was just had so much energy and confidence. I was like, dang, I need that. And then she was talking about, oh, this is also what I do for work. I'm like, whoa, like how can you be like jumping around in your living room with your kids at your feet, and you are also like making a pretty good income, you're going on these fun trips, you're hosting these retreats, like what is this? So I looked at coaching. I was really, really scared because the fear of being salesy, and I kind of used social media. I didn't know what I was doing, but I looked at it as two things. One, I could finally get my health in check, because clearly whatever she was doing was working. She had like been pregnant, postpartum 3 times, like, and it was still working. And then 2, maybe I could like do something financially with it and help contribute to my family. So jumping into like what we actually do as coaches. So as coaches, we partner with a company, Beachbody. So I say we are a 50-50% partnership, which means that when you become a Beachbody coach, you are not just a Beachbody coach. I am still Brooke Anderson, mom of 3, wife, former elementary teacher, with all my weird quirks and like things that I have about me. So many people think once they get into be a coach, like that's all they are anymore. So it's just it's a partnership, and I get to use the amazing tools that Beachbody has to be a tour guide for other people's health journey. I do not have to be the expert. Trust me. When I entered this 4 years ago, I told you how messed up my relationship with health and food and all that stuff was. I was not an expert. So you don't have to be an expert. We just have access to experts, and we just get to bring other people in with us and point them to, hey, I think this program would be really great for you. I think drinking this shake daily would really, really help you because it's done X, Y, and Z for me. And we just get to be a part of someone's journey by helping them in the right direction and then being their biggest cheerleader. We are just a helper and as a former teacher, that was like right up my alley. I'm like, I can help someone if I'm doing it right alongside with them. So that kind of comes to the second point, being a product of the product. If you were to sign up tonight as a coach, or tomorrow or later this week, this would be the first thing you would hear from your coach, from me, from anyone on our team, is be a product of the product, meaning pick out a workout program and complete it from start to finish. And get the results, the best results that you can get with it. You know, we know that you're busy. We know that this is the first time maybe that you're working out in a long time, but just give it your best shot. Get the results and show people that even through if you're up all night with kids, even through if work is crazy and you're doing virtual teaching or you have long night shifts at the hospital, like you can still make 30 minutes for you, drink a healthy shake, you know, check in with a boot camp, do all these things, little things that people think are so hard. So be a proof of the product works. And the really cool thing as well is if you are already like have a niche of like something else fitness. So I know there's I have a lot of girls that come in and they're like marathon runners or just like runners in general, or they really love their CrossFit gym, or they're into yoga and they like used to be former yoga teachers. Like that is awesome. Like you can totally, like I have a really good friend who she is a hardcore marathon runner, and she like, that's all she talks about. She's all about running and she loves running. She shares all her top tips. She's sharing all about the virtual races, of course, that she's doing now, but she also needs to like strength train, right? You got to build muscle as a runner. And you also need to like make sure you're taking care of your muscles with yoga. And you also need to make sure you're fueling your body right with things like Shakeology and eating right with like our nutrition plan. So she partners with Beachbody and she can do like the best of both worlds. So if you feel like I'm really knowledgeable already in an area, like that is only going to be to your advantage, because if, I mean, it's CrossFit, you know, they need, if like, you know, you can't always make it to a CrossFit gym, especially as a mom. So just having CrossFit type workouts at home, having CrossFit, I know is hard on your body at times. So having workouts like yoga that you can do to stretch and build muscle and all those things are so crucial. So you're going to get plugged into our boot camps if you're not in already, if you're not a customer already. And basically, like those are just online accountability groups where we get to check in with each other every day. You can co-host one with your coach who you join with this, or you can decide to lead one. I have girls who jump in, you're like, I want to just lead my own from the start. And that is great. Or if you're not ready for that, if you just want to like dip your toes in your own coaches, go ahead and do that. And then Caitlin's going to share in a minute. Like, then we just start sharing our journeys, the good, the bad, the ugly. No one wants to see picture perfect fitness Barbie. Maybe like they do for a second. Like, that's cool to see like the beautiful girl with like the perfect abs and the cutest like outfits all the time, but that's not reality, right? Like no one wants to see that. That's not what our team is about. We are just about like moms and women and grandmas and girls in college who just are trying to stay healthy and are trying to help others at the same time. So I'm going to stop. So that's basically what we do as coaches. We work on ourselves and then we just help others do the same. Caitlin, I'm going to pass it over to you with your story and social media.
Okay. So I always get excited to be here and to do these things. So to give you guys kind of a brief introduction, like I have been doing this as a coach since October. And the really funny thing is I've never known any different. So I never was a challenger. I never did a coach sneak peek. I was the stalker, as Brooke alluded to, following along silently, and then just kind of hit that moment that was right for me, and I jumped all in, and I haven't looked back. So to kind of bring you guys back, so like I said, I'm Caitlin. I am a wife. So I've been married to my husband, Ben, for like 5 years. We have 2 little kiddos, 15 months apart. So I have Charlie, my oldest, and then Jack, our youngest. And I work full time at the University of Iowa. I am a PA in pediatric cardiology there. So I would like to say I'm busy, but I think I'm learning more and more that we're all very busy in our different ways. So that's not an excuse for me, at least anymore. So from like the health and fitness standpoint, and I share the story over and over again, and it always seems to be a little bit the same, a little different. But I was always very active all through college. I was an athlete through college. And then I kind of lost my way with health and fitness afterwards. I was in PA school full time. It was very rigorous. And I just kind of was in this like yo-yo pattern of like gain the weight, lose the weight, gain the weight, lose the weight. And it was never consistent. It never felt great, but it was what it was at the time. And then I got married. I, like many of you, probably did the same. If you are married, I did like the get into your wedding dress and look beautiful on that day diet approach. Worked great, was not sustainable. And then we got pregnant with our first, and we unfortunately experienced a loss late in that pregnancy. And at the time, my way of coping with that was to deal with the really extrinsic part of it. And so I jumped all into like, I look like I'm pregnant. I'm no longer pregnant. Let's fix that. And I jumped into an amazing program. It was super hardcore. I was getting up at 3:30 in the morning, leaving my house, driving an hour, working out for an hour, and then going to work. I was tracking my nutrition down to like the salt that I added. I mean, it was insane, submitting it every week. And at the time, it was exactly what I needed. I needed a very extrinsic focus. I needed the community. I needed the workout and just kind of the release for the emotions that we weren't dealing with probably very well. And then I got pregnant with Charlie, and I like reeled it all in. I was like, I'm not going to move. I'm not going to do anything that could hurt this baby, even though knowing now what I know, I mean, I had zero to do that, but I like did nothing. And then we had Charlie, healthy little girl. And then thinking it would take us a while, we also had Jack, 15 minutes apart. And it was, you know, kind of the best situation in so many ways. But I remember vividly, I was cleared to work out 6 weeks postpartum last winter. Quarantine started. And I was like happy, unbelievably exhausted, and drowning in like being a mom of 2 under 15 months. And then also I was going back to work. Like I was somehow supposed to go back to work. And I just remember this feeling of like, I have zero control over what's happening right now. And so I dove all into like every single free thing that was offered, because when quarantine happened, everybody had a 2-week trial. So I was doing Peloton, I was doing like YouTube yoga, I was jumping on Zoom with my friends and doing different workouts. I did Beachbody workouts. And then the turning point for my sister and I was we actually did a 21-day program together. We did it with nutrition, we did it with workouts every single day, and we had killer results. Like she lost like 13 pounds in 3 weeks. And it was just like, it was that kind of flip the switch that we needed, because for 21 days straight, I filled my cup every single day. 30 minutes of my day was about me. And I realized like, I'm actually a better person when something is about me in my day. And so then I kind of continued that through the summer. And then after watching Brooke for like 2 years in October, I was like, I'm doing some of the things, so why not? And I, as well as her, am very money motivated and financially motivated, and there's no shame for me in that. And so I make a very good salary, and my husband and I are very conscious with like paying for everything out of pocket and all these things. And there are things that we want to do that will happen in 20 years that I think, what if I can make them happen in 5? Like, what is the shame in making them happen? And so that was kind of the push over the edge, because I can lean into the fitness and I can lean into the nutrition, and those things I can do. And I wanted the financial aspect, and then I had no idea to anticipate the community. Like that part's what keeps me coming back. But that's kind of how I ended up here. So social media. And I had to laugh when I got asked to talk on this subject, because I was like, yeah, if you think that you aren't present on social media, I was you. I had never shared my story. I didn't even know how to add music to anything. I'd never done any form of like together a video, nothing. My extent of social media was post a picture of my child at their respective month milestone. And that was about the extent of it, or post a picture of my husband and tell everyone we're still married and happy. Like that's what I did. And looking back, I never appreciated this till just a few months ago, but I realized that I had a very selfish approach to social media. And what I mean by that is like, when I posted, the purpose of my post, to be completely like, I'm a very transparent person, but to be completely transparent, my purpose at that time, 6 months ago and before, was to get likes. Like, how many people are going to like this picture of my cute son and daughter that are so close in age and congratulate me on being a good mom? Like that, if I'm being honest, that's what it was about, other than maybe letting my family see them. And then the other thing was, I was incredibly unkind and really not purposeful with my use of social media. So I would mindlessly scroll, but I was never the person to answer anyone's questions or to comment on their polls or to comment on their pictures unless they were my best friend. Um, and it's funny now because I realize that people use social media for the intent of someone to interact with what they're sharing. And yet I was wasting my time on social media, but not being kind or interactive or purposeful. So it's funny to think where I am now because I feel like I actually, I thought getting into this that the use of social media was going to be negative because I'm like, I'm going to have to spend so much time, and I've realized that I not only spend so much less time, including turning off notifications for my apps, scheduling all of my posts for my group, being very purposeful and intentional with my time. But what I've also found is the time that I am spending on social media is either to move my business forward, to support the amazing, incredible, I apologize for my language, but like truly badass women that are in my group, or I'm getting on to be kind and to reach out to people that are sharing, whether it be something that's worth congratulating or a vulnerable part of their story, or maybe they're a postpartum mom of twins that I'm just like, I know this is out of nowhere, but I am very proud of you because I've done it with one and I just don't know how you're doing it with two. So good for you. Um, and I've realized in doing that that like I actually have this really, really deep appreciation for social media that I never had before. And it's been really cool. It was probably my biggest fear surrounding jumping in. And I've actually leaned all into it and become very, very intentional and purposeful with it. And I absolutely love it. So that's kind of how the switch has flipped, which I guess it's a good thing it flipped because I wouldn't be very motivational if I was where I was 6 months ago. But so a couple little things. So the things to know is the biggest thing that I think that is a learning process for myself as I walk through this is that the intent of using social media is to be genuine, to be yourself, and to share the things that are kind of the foundation for who you are. So it's not just about jumping on and sharing your workouts. It's a really, really great thing for the accountability piece and also for all the women that are choosing to trust you every day in your groups, and to kind of move forward with their own fitness part of their journey. But it's also to be, present and to share the things that maybe you're learning as a mom, the things that you're not doing very well. Um, the tips that someone else teaches you that you're like, everyone needs to know this. So a really cool thing that Brooke did when I jumped in as a coach is she sent an email about what are the 5 pillars. Like when because I was like, I can't do social media. She was like, I want you to think about the 5 pillars that kind of make up who you are. And for me at the time, those were being a mom, not just a mom, but a mom of 2 little kids close in age. I was also a working mom. I was a career woman, taking this on as something in addition to. I love DIY, but beyond DIY, I love like big, heavy projects like drywalling, which we're going to be doing a lot of coming up. So I intend to share that. Or like I've tiled all of our bathrooms ourselves. I've replaced toilets, like things like that. That's something that I like about myself. Like I will replace a sink. I might have to YouTube it, but I'll do it. Um, and then also, I really enjoy simple nutrition. Like I provide my meal plans for our girls, and I've been amazed. I've had the best results. I'm probably in the best shape of my life, even maybe better than I was as a college athlete. And even my relationship with working out and food. And I have the simplest approach to meal planning. Like, I'm not kidding. If you ever need something simple, it is like, what can I make in 20 minutes that has one pan that also has foil on it that I don't even have to wash if I don't want to? Like, that is my approach. And so I've been trying to think of ways I can incorporate that into my day. Like, who doesn't want that? It's not pretty, but it works. And so those are the things that I've leaned into. And the other thing that I've really done to shift my approach is that I've made my time very intentional. So I get onto social media with 2 purposes. In the morning, I have what I call my gym time. So I get up and I have an hour of my day because I am busy. Like I have to leave my house at 6 a.m. to get to work by 7. So I get up at 4:30, sometimes later, depending on how the kids sleep. I work out first 30 minutes. And then I have my 30 minutes of my gym time that involves my first interaction with social media, sharing my workout, sending invites to the women that I'm like, I need you in my group. I want to share this with you. This would be for you. And then doing some of the little things that come with coaching as well, which there's more to learn there. And then when I get on social media, it's usually either for the purpose of using pockets of my time to follow up with people, to purposely interact with other people's stories and to engage and to support them just as I'd hope they'd do the same for me. And then the other thing that I do is when I'm sharing about my kids, because this is a protected time, right? Like as moms, and there's some shame that is brought with that too, like, well, you're on your phone all the time. And how I approach it is that I share the things that I am recording anyways. You know what I mean? Like, unless I think it's something that's going to add a lot of value, like I will intentionally, like, I would have loved to have known this or learned this or not done this 15 times in a row. I might share that. But otherwise, I'm sharing the things that I'm already capturing throughout my day. And even as not a mom, we all do that, right? We're all on our phones. We're all taking pictures of our dogs because they're cute. We're all taking picture of our significant other or we're taking pictures of our best friends or our projects that we do. And so I think of those as opportunities to share that aren't taking away from my engagement and my involvement in my day. And so I've actually felt a lot less like guilt about adding this into my day. Like I feel like I'm actually doing something with the time that I was already wasting. I was. And I promise you, you probably are too, unless you are some type of a saint, because it amazes me sometimes. Like my screen time is down from 7 hours a day to 2. I have reminders for all of my apps. They actually turn gray and they just go away. Like it'll tell me you have 5 minutes. And I'm like, okay, well, it's happening tomorrow. And I am like so intentional with the time that I'm on there. And it is also providing me with, I'm in the best shape that I've been. I have a great relationship with food. My kids, like my daughter already, when I come home, mommy, are we going to work out? I'm like, I already did this morning. She's like, come on. And so her understanding of just like, I move my body to be a better version of myself, she loves it. She wants to be a part of it. And then, it's already affording us things that I had hoped for. And I can see the future of it affording us more. And it is, if anything, it's adding to everything I already had on my plate rather than taking anything away. So for me, it, remains a no-brainer. Is that helpful? Okay. I'm a talker, so I get going and then I'm like, I don't know if I covered what was helpful. But you can do it and you can learn how to do reels. I am like, I've made about 4 of them, mostly making fun of my husband, but I'm all on board. So.
Oh my goodness. I think we could probably just all sit and listen to you all night. You're a very natural talker and I love all the transparency. So thank you, Caitlin. So Jens is gonna take it away with she's brand new coach. And I remember when she was like, I don't know what I share about. I'm like, I just like, if you sign up as a coach, like just to hear a perspective of like, okay, what's the first month to what might it look like, what challenges, what good things. So that is why I asked her to share. Sometimes I think as new coaches or new at something, you're like, well, I have nothing to share, but you actually do. So I'm so thankful for Jens for jumping on tonight.
Yeah, so Caitlin was like a natural at speaking and Brooke, but I have notes. So if I'm looking down, that's why. But so just a little bit about me. I am a speech language pathologist and a mom of a 5-year-old daughter and a 2-year-old son and an 8-month-old son. And I've been married to my husband, Jacob, for 6 years. I was actually a coach back in 2018, but I was not treating it like a business and I just didn't feel authentic to myself. And at the end of the day, I quit. But when I quit, I also quit my workouts. I found my nutrition was subpar. And then 2020 hit. And I feel like a lot of us have had some really low lows in the past year. And on top of that, we had our 3rd baby in June. So I started struggling with things that were 2020 and then postpartum stuff. And I was just really hitting a low point with my mental health. And I was feeling very irritable. I didn't have energy. I felt more angry than I have really in my whole life. But and there was a lot going on. But there was a couple of weeks where our childcare provider was closed. So Jacob and I were taking turns being at home, and I was doing telehealth at home with the kids and just trying to balance it all. And I was already struggling with feeling angry and all of that, and just being a cranky person in general. And I lost it. So I put on a movie for my kids, and I just went to the kitchen and I cried, and I lost it. And my daughter kept coming over and said, "Hey mom, are you okay?" And I said, "Go watch your movie, go watch your movie." She came back over, "Hey mom, are you okay?" And eventually I was like, "No, I am not okay." And that is when I was like, something needs to change. So I was like, well, what do I do? What do I do? I have to do something. So I had been watching Brooke for a while, and I just liked how authentic she was on social media. She had 3 kids, she was showing up, and I just really connected with that. So I thought to myself, I'm like, if I'm going to make a change and if I want to sustain that change, personally, I have to go all in. Because then I have that accountability piece for myself. So that's what I did. I thought, oh, like maybe when the stars align and my kids are sleeping through the night and I'm less tired and I'm less busy and yada, 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 then I would start. But I didn't want to wait until all those things lined up and then I would feel happy. Like I wanted to feel happy again now. So I had to make those changes where I am. And I also feel like God might be putting this in my path right now because he can see into our future. We can't, but maybe there's something down the road where he wants me to be building this business now because we're going to need the income later. So really just trusting him and his provision moving forward. And then, so yeah, I started the end of December. So I've been coaching now for about a month and a half. And honestly, so I just started sharing like on social media, just my story. I share my workouts, I share nutrition, but I just shared me. Like I share being a mom of 3, and I share some parts of my SLP life, my speech therapy life, and I share my love for coffee. I have always loved coffee, and that's a huge part of me. And then sometimes I share some beauty products that I've liked. So just kind of like a mix of things. So just so people are knowing me as a person. But yeah, so I've met a lot of just really fun people through social media, which I think is pretty cool. There's just a lot of community out there. And I just feel like some community is something that we all need, especially we've just kind of been in our homes for so long. So just being able to talk to people and kind of get out of my comfort zone a little bit has been a good stretch and a good challenge for me. But a couple of things that I've gained is, like I just said, community. So I've met other coaches. I've reconnected with old friends, which has been fun. And then I've just met some new people along the way. And I have confidence. I don't feel like I would have been doing this a few months ago. Like Brooke would have came in and be like, no, thanks. Like no. So I feel like it's just kind of given me a little bit of confidence, which has also gone into my job and just other areas of my life too. And then new energy. So before I was lacking in energy. So now I feel like I have it again. And which is good with being in this season with little kids. And taking care of our health is our main and biggest job as a coach. And I feel like that is something you don't find in other jobs. So just having that accountability, just like, hey, we take care of ourselves and then we pour into others. And then, yeah, so far I've had some extra dollars for grocery runs and Target runs, and obviously for me, coffee runs. But it's also just been a fun creative outlet. So I love being a mom and I love being an SLP, but it's been just like a fun new thing for me to just like kind of use a different part of my brain. And I felt like, oh, I turned 30. So I'm just who I am now, but it's been stretching me, and I've really liked that part of it. And this is what I'm excited to keep doing. I'm excited to keep serving others and meeting new people and building community, and just where women can feel included and heard, and just really just share life's up and downs along the way. But yeah, overall, I'm happy, and I don't feel like I could honestly say that a few months ago. So I don't regret going all in where I was, and where I was honestly where I had started. I was doing a few workouts like here and there sometimes, but when I just like went all in, that's when I was showing up for myself. So um yeah, I think that's kind of it there. Anything.
Thank you so much. And I love how you shared, like I talk about that too. Like you think that all the stars are going to align and like a perfectly like door is going to open, like, oh, like this is where you should go. And like, no, like that's not when like something, when you just feel, it's like that little nudge in your heart that like something needs to change. I really don't know what it is, but something needs to change. And that doesn't mean that life is any less busy and chaotic. So I really understand what you said, that I'm sure all of us do in our own way. But thank you so much for sharing. I love hearing all of that. I'm going to wrap us up with the income part of it. Like, okay, so you're telling me my job as a coach and to take care of myself. That all sounds great, but like, can you really make money doing this? And I think that's a lot where people get hung up. Like, how does this actually work? And then like how to get started tonight and make this decision, best decision for you, for your family, for your loved ones. So I talked about earlier, like my story of wanting to be at home, but wanting to be financially stable. I knew that we could go down to one income, but also like, I didn't want to sacrifice the things that we were currently doing because of my decision to be at home. We were big Dave Ramsey people. We save, we give, we do all those things. We like to go on fun trips. I'm like a travel wanderlust. I love traveling. And if I were to stay at home and we would stay on my husband's income, I knew that budget that we had would be like, and it would be doable, but it would just be hard. And like Caitlin kind of said, if I could find something that I really loved, that maybe we could create the lifestyle that we want a little bit sooner, rather than like, okay, after the kids go back or in school, then I go back to work. Like, why not? And as soon as I started to stay at home, I fell in love with the freedom of designing my own days. And I know not everybody loves that, but I fell in love with the freedom of like, I don't have to be here till this time. I don't have no bosses telling me to do this. So I just, from like kind of that very beginning, I was like, I want to be my own boss. I don't want to return to teaching. I want to replace my income. And I get that not everyone on this call here tonight wants that. And that is completely okay. I would say, and on our team, there's a small handful of girls who want to do those things and they're doing it. And there's also a big chunk of girls who just like are doing this for fun and for accountability and for their own health and for a little side income, to have those fun things and Target runs and coffee runs without, just for themselves. So there are two ways that we earn as coaches. So first off, you need to know that as coaches, we get 25% discount on all products. So if you're a customer right now and you're using Shakeology or Energize somewhat regularly, or Beach Bars or Collagen or Hydrate. I personally, now that I'm pregnant, I like drink 4 Hydrate scoops a day and I'm like obsessed with it. I just can't get enough. You need to be a coach just for the 25% discount. But as coaches, the first way to earn is through commissions, right? We partner with Beachbody and Beachbody pays us whenever we help someone with a product, whether it's the workouts, whether it's a supplement, whether it's what we call a challenge pack, which is the workouts, supplements, nutrition, kind of like the whole shebang that everyone truly needs in their health journey to get started. Like you're going to get 25% commission. So with a challenge pack, that commission is usually around $50. Okay. So as a coach starting out, as a brand new coach, if you're like, okay, well, I want to do this, but I don't want to pay out of pocket, like, how do I counterbalance? We always say, and it's our goal, it is still my goal 4 years in, to help 3 people every single month. Just 3 new people every single month. That will be, you're going to sell 3 challenge packs with the total solution of what you got started with the workouts, with a supplement, and with the groups and nutrition, and like help just 3 people. It's not 100 people. It's not 10 people. Like, so that is what you would do to get like everything paid for and then some. Of course, $150, that's not going to be like say all be all, like you're going to be making the big bucks doing that, but like that's where you start. And that's like when you're sharing your journey on social media and you start those authentic relationships and connections, those things happen along the way. And that's how you can start covering things right from the get-go. Okay. So that is the first way. But this is the second way, which I would say is the biggest, what it is. It's the biggest overall earnings that you can make, but it also takes more time, is the growth of your team. You earn, it's called the team cycle bonus, and it's basically earning off the productivity and the growth of your team and what they are doing. So as a 4-year coach, there's been some changes in the network marketing, I would say within the last year, so that they've really narrowed it down. Like, we can't really talk about income. I used to be someone who like put out like, hey guys, this is what I made last month, just so you know, like, this is legit, this is real. Like, I even know some people think that's like super icky, but like, I was very income driven. And I know if my coach didn't show me like what she was actually making with this, I would have rolled my eyes at her and been like, you're not making anything. And so, but I can stand here and say that like, as 4 years into coaching, last year, I was able to make 6 figures not because I'm sitting here selling 50 challenge packs a week. I'm not, guys. I'm sitting here selling like 3 to 5 challenge packs a month, but because of the consistent growth on the amazing ladies that I get to work with and get to just partner with on our team every month, that is where the income and growth builds. So earning off the productivity of what's going on your team. Okay, there is a $15 monthly business fee. And what that monthly business fee goes towards is all of like the office and background stuff that we don't have to worry about. I don't think I realized like how big of a deal that was until my parents but they both run their own business. And like, when it comes tax time or comes like times, like they put in hours and hours and hours of like paperwork, of documenting stuff, of like, okay, handling shipping, doing this part, customer service. Like, we don't have to do any of that. Beachbody takes care of all the paperwork, all the processing, all the payment, like all of that stuff. So, and plus the marketing. So that $15 is going towards all of our like paperwork, plus our marketing materials. So even if you are a discount coach, you're getting that 25% off products and you're paying that $15 per month, you're still saving on products. I know with Shakeology, if you're using that regularly, you're going to be saving over a year, like $250. So it still is worth it to be a coach, even if you're not working the business. The nice thing as well is that everything that you purchase from Beachbody is a direct investment in your health, right? There's a lot of really, really cool companies out there, and, that are selling like purses and makeup. And, I get all my a beauty routine and like all my skincare from a really awesome network marketing company. But everything, like, just so you know, that we purchase, like, there's nothing that's just like sitting on my shelves that I have to keep and like to sell away. Like, everything that I use, I'm directly putting in my body and it's benefiting my health. So everything that you purchase for your business and you are investing directly into yourself. We don't have to have any certain requirements for sales, and we don't have to have any products just sitting at home that, I know a lot of companies are like, well, you have to have this much inventory stocked away for so-and-so. I don't know how it all works, but like, I've been told that, and like, that's not how this works. So if you've been through that before or anything, like, we don't have to do either of those things. So basically, with getting started up, like what that would look like, I know there's probably a mix of brand new people and there's a mix of customers. So if you are just brand spanking new, the challenge pack is what you would want to do, because that gives you everything you need to invest in your own health, but also your business. So it's going to give you the workouts for an entire year, Beachbody On Demand for an entire year, plus all the new releases that are coming out. You guys, this is like something that's been in the works probably for the past month or two that they've recently released. We are like partnering with a spin company within the next few months, like, which is going to be huge. And so like, I just love how Beachbody, they are always giving us things to make this job easier. Like every new program that comes out, I'm just like, this is awesome. This is amazing. It's so easy to just rally behind and share because I'm so passionate about it. And I know a lot of the coaches on here feel the same way, but I'm just like, we're headed in a direction that's just really, really exciting and with the times. You know, it's not like we're staying really small and we're staying like, we just have limited workouts. Like, no, we are expanding and we're growing and exciting. So getting the workouts plus your first month supply of either Shakeology, or you could do the pre and post workout, which is Energize and Recover. Energize is that little yellow drink you probably see all of us drinking every single day because it is the most amazing thing that helps us power through. So that's what you're going to want to get started with. Plus, with the purchase of a challenge pack, everything you need for your health journey, you're going to get the $40 Coach Business sign-up fee waived. So if you've already purchased a challenge pack in the past, you could actually sign up as a coach for free today. And you wouldn't have to pay that $15 this first month of coaching or anything like that, because since you've already purchased a challenge pack, they would give you a reimbursement for that $40. So yeah, that's how you get started. And if you would get started on our team, we would get you plugged into our boot camps right away. We would get you plugged into our team page right away. We do new coach calls every couple weeks. And our team has a really, I would say, at least I do, and I know our whole team does, just like a heart for newer coaches because we are all new in this. Heck, sometimes I still feel brand new in this because things are always changing, right? Social media is always changing. There's always a fun new program coming out where we have to constantly stay learning and stay creative. So we have a very special place for new coaches. Don't think you're going to jump into this community and feel lost and like drowned in things. Yes, you're going to learn a lot of new stuff, but you're going to have women rally around you, come alongside you, and lift you up if you choose to lean in and, pour yourself into your own journey and like make, it's a two-way street. You can't just sign up for a team or sign up to do something and then never show up and never talk to anybody or never get on a call like this or a team call or anything like that. It is a two-way street, but I tell you, if you give a little bit, you're going to get so much in return. And I think that's the biggest difference with our team. I love Beachbody and I think there's amazing teams, but I truly think that's the coolest thing about our team is like, it just feels like a family. It just feels like, we range from the UK. There's girls from North Carolina to California. We have some Canadian coaches, but a lot of us, and I know there's some that are from not around here, but a lot of us are from the Midwest, which I think is just, we kind of just have a really just solid, hard-working attitude and just are really, really real. Like no one on our team is special. We're special, of course, we're all special in our own special ways, but no one on our team is like, has 20K followers and has written a book or done all this. We're all really basic, simple women who just have a heart for helping and sharing our own journeys. And we've done some really, really cool things with it. So that's what I want to leave you with tonight. Like, we are so excited. We want you to make the best decision for yourself. Of course, out of everything, if you just want to work on your health journey, do that. Like, you don't have to work the business side of things at all. You can ease into it, or you can jump in and be like, heck, I want to run on and I want to take off with this. And trust me, you will have girls running right alongside of you and it will be so much fun. So I'm going to have you drop any questions. I haven't been looking at the chat section, but if there are any questions, make sure, and if someone sees a question, you can unmute yourself. Put them in the chat now. And of course, like you can always just reach out to the coach who helped you on this. But I'm actually going to raffle off. I told you there was 2 Amazon gift cards. So I'm going to pull up this is how fancy we are here. I'm going to share my screen. And we're going to raffle them right now. So I took some time when Caitlin was talking, and I think I got all of the girls down that were on here. anyone sees anyone, or if you don't see your name on here,
I don't see my girl Jade unless I missed it.
Jane.
Yeah.
No, tell me.
I think I was just like supposed to be the winner, so that's why I wasn't on there.
Probably, yes. Okay, anybody else? And we will
Nice.
raffle off.
I don't see Anne Marie. Should be on there. Hey, yeah.
And is Brooke still in here? Where's my Brooke? Yeah, Brooke's here.
Okay.
The other Brooke.
There's a lot of Brooks on our team, so
And Marcy.
know that.
Girl, my girls are showing up. Marcy
Hey,
too.
I'm here. Amanda Wade. I'm supposed to be quiet, but I'm here.
Marcy.
Good job, you guys.
Thank you. Okay. If there's anyone else, let me know. Okay, I'm gonna pick 2 and then we're gonna call it a night and wrap up. I'm so thankful for that you guys are here. Who does not like an Amazon gift card? Sarah! Yay! Okay. So is Sarah still on this call? I can't see who's on it since I shared my screen. I need to know, as long as she reaches out to me or if your coach reaches out to me with her last name, I can send her that. Or was it Sarah? It was Sarah, right? Okay. Next one. Ooh, and is it Jamie? Okay, we will close out of this. I just forget how to unshare my screen. There it is. Okay. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. And again, think on it, pray on it. This is not like an end all be all. You can decide whenever is right for you, but we're just so thankful that you joined us tonight and make it a good rest of the week. So take care. Bye.